Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. So today I am going to be doing something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. I got my trusty Oklahoma Joe's Highland traditional offset smoker, and I've been tinkering with that for the last couple of months. Absolutely enjoying it. Definitely ups and downs and perks like that. But a buddy of mine has lent me their Weber Smokey Mountain 18-inch smoker as well, and to date has probably made the best brisket I've ever had. And so what I want to do in this video is to throw on 2 briskets, do 2 cooks, one on this Weber Smokey Mountain, one on the Highland offset, let them roll, same rubs, same wood, all that cool stuff, and see what we get at the end. Let's get to it. Am I thinking about what to say? No, I always know what to say. All right, here we go. Okay, so quick disclaimer. I'm actually recording this the day before I'm gonna be cooking just because I have to get started at probably around 4:30, 5 a.m. and don't want the neighbors to think I'm crazy talking to myself that early in the morning. I am gonna do a very quick kind of breeze through of the cook early on. I'll check in with the cook every couple of hours and give folks some updates, and then we'll jump back into some like actual footage and narrating and all that good stuff when the briskets are ready to be pulled. That's right. The Piggly Wiggly shirt is on. That means we mean business. You know what I'm saying, Anna Kate? Can you see it? What does it say?
Big on the pig.
That's right, I'm big on the pig. This thing shrunk quite a bit. I threw in a couple of chunks there to elevate it just because the brisket was sticking out all the way to the edge. I'm just going to put this down real quick and switch it. Alright, so I got the chunks out, and yeah, it's looking real good. Probably don't need to hit it that much. And the WSM just locks in moisture really, really well. I'm going to close this back up. Alright, so over here we are measuring grate temps. It's at 270, between 270 and 280. At least that's my goal. How are we looking? Okay. Actually pretty similar. Let's go ahead and get those edges right there. My little snack back there. Alright, so we're looking pretty good. We're going to shut this down and then come back in a couple of hours. I think given how the edges were looking, we're going to try every hour. Yes. Just going to hit the edges real quick. It's forming quite nicely. Alright, let's hop on over to OKJ. This is looking alright. And I gotta say, the bark is looking much better on the Weber Smokey Mountain. Well, you're doing pretty good too, fella. Looking a little spritz where it's browning the most. Top looks like it's plenty juicy, so we're gonna leave it. Ooh, okay. So that bark is looking real good. Yeah, that bark is looking real good. I am actually going to probe it. Just curious where we're at right now. Yeah, so that area's got a ways to go. I feel like I just hit a band of fat, which is interesting because if you look, it's already temping at 198. Let's come in here on the flat. That feels real tough right there. But also temping at 198. Interesting. Okay. Well, you know what? We might just let this one finish without a wrap. Alright, so let's come over here, check out the other brisket on the Oklahoma Joe's. Let's go and temp this thing, just find out what's going on. Oh, that's just pure fat. Oh, that's tough. Okay, so this is the larger brisket. We're at 180 degrees. On the point, coming in on the flat, which is real tight right there. 171. So that looks about right, or as expected. I think this thing had at least 2 or 3 pounds on the other one. All right, so let's just check back in an hour. All right, everybody, here we go. This is hour number 8. I'm going to start with the Weber Smokey Mountain. So this was the smaller of the 2 briskets. Before I trimmed them, I believe the smaller one I think came in at 16 pounds and the larger one came in at 19. I took a lot off the big one, but still a lot on there. So anyhow, I did expect the smaller one to finish sooner on the WSM, and the bark looks amazing. I have not wrapped it just because it just looks very juicy. I'm not worried about if it be getting over smoked or anything like that. So let's take a look. Plop this guy off here. Oh, look at that. Do a little scan right there. Yes. Okay, I am going to temp this thing, and then just that feels actually pretty good. So that's scary. It's at 208. That always freaks me out a little bit because I don't think I've ever taken a brisket above 210. Okay. So this, so it's reflective here, right? So 200. This is feeling. I'm trying to pull this thing out here. Definitely not that peanut butter or that like probe tenderness or that buttery tenderness that people talk about. This part feels actually pretty good, but if I remember correctly, there was like it was definitely more fatty right there, and that one just slid right through like butter. Okay, so I think we still have a few moments there. One of the thoughts that just came to mind is, should I just wrap it now in butcher paper, pull it off the grill, and just let it carry over, and then hopefully the other areas will kind of soften up and get more tender. I don't know if that's going to happen. I know I've done that many a time before, and it hasn't actually worked to my favor. So I'm going to let that thing go for at least another half hour, come back in. If it gets close, that one holdout point on the flat, if it gets close, then I'll go ahead and wrap and pull everything off. All right, so now we're back at the OKJ. I keep telling myself I'm not going to keep opening this because it's got a long ways to go, but I just want to take a quick look at it. Love the bark that's formed. Super juicy, even as I try and put that probe in there. Yeah, this area is just tough. So I'm not messing with this anymore. 174, I'm just going to leave that in here. And actually might wrap that one up to help kind of break through the stall a little bit. Alright, so I'm just going to snag a couple pieces here. So this one is off of the Weber Smokey Mountain. Again, the darker bark. Kind of the darker, well, I guess it depends on how you look at it, the smoke ring, but definitely the darker bark. Let's try that. Smoky, a little dry. Taste a little bit of the charcoal on that bad boy. Okay, so here's the Oklahoma Joe. Much more flavorful. Much more tender. Alright, so we've already cut these up, but you can tell right here the darker smoke ring, the blacker bark right there. That's off the Weber kettle. And over here, a slightly lighter smoke ring and a lighter bark. That one's off of the Oklahoma Joe's Highland. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching the video. Huge shout out to my friend Andrew who let me borrow the Weber Smokey Mountain 18, and my buddy Sterling who dropped off some pretty bomb donuts to help me fuel through that early morning cook. I think I ended up getting it up at 2:30 a.m. or 3 a.m. But anyways, they helped me power through. Now, one thing I feel bad about and I apologize for is I really wanted to get a better capture of the head-to-head and kind of like the tasting with friends and all other stuff, which I was not able to deliver on, just the timing didn't work out. But looking back at it, my lessons learned here, the Weber Smokey Mountain, just because it traps everything in there, you can definitely taste more of like that wood, the lump charcoal that I used. And I would also say that a slight hint of kind of the bitterness that comes from dirty smoke. And that could be just me not managing the fire correctly. It's been a while since I've cooked on one of those, so that could be it. And then on the offset, on the Oklahoma Joe, that was a really thick brisket that I probably should have trimmed down a little bit more. Probably should have cooked it at a lower temp for a little bit longer. So I definitely rushed that one, I think, just trying to keep the two neck and neck. So I definitely wouldn't have rushed it if I were to do that all again. But comparing the two, like the end product, I liked the smokiness, the smoky flavor of the Weber far more, and I loved the kind of the tenderness overall of the offset, of the Oklahoma Joe's offset. And again, I don't doubt that, you know, done correctly, you could probably make it pretty similar on both sides, but that was my experience today. Oh, gosh, there was one more thing that I wanted to mention. See, Oklahoma Joe. Oh, I threw a little note in there. I don't know if y'all saw the banner, but gosh, I should have wrapped those things. And looking back at it, you know, the times that I have not wrapped, which I think is maybe just once or twice, I think in those times I had cooked the briskets at a very low point, water pan was always full, and they were thinner briskets. And so I think in those instances, maybe I got away with it and it wasn't so dry, but both of these briskets definitely came out a lot more dry. And I would attribute that to the fact that I did not wrap them until they were almost ready. And then I was holding them in a cooler. So going back, in the future, I probably would just use butcher paper, wrap them all as I have been, usually about midway through the stall. And then I'll just let that ride and then check for probe tenderness a little bit later. And I usually pull them around 205 to 210 degrees. So that's what I've got for this video. Again, thank you so much for checking in. If you have any comments, feedback, I'm sure plenty of folks out there who are way more knowledgeable than me have feedback. Feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to respond to everyone. Not many comments right now, so I definitely can. And until next time, who's smoking?